All right, it is hard to find a bigger rivalry than the game coming up this Saturday between The Ohio State University and the Michigan Wolverines.
But before the battle on the field, there was a battle over territory involving Toledo. Steve Iwanek joins us now to give us a history lesson. Steve, how did Toledo set the stage for such a bitter rivalry?
Yeah, guys, so the area on the map that we call Toledo was once land that was fought over for months. I spoke with a local Toledo historian who explained how this laid the foundations for an epic sporting rivalry. The Toledo War, a dispute nearly 2 centuries ago over our city's grounds.
It was just some land in what at that time was the contested border between Ohio and Michigan.
Ted Long is a local author and Toledo history expert who says without a bitter game on the gridiron, most wouldn't even know it happened.
It would probably just disappear from the history books if it weren't for the annual Ohio State-Michigan game.
Here's what the war was all about. Simply put, the root of the dispute was over the border between Ohio and Michigan. Ohio's northern border had been controversial since it applied for statehood in 1802. When it was established through the Northwest Ordinance in 1787, it was done so through inaccurate mapping, giving Ohio valuable access to Lake Erie.
When Michigan goes to apply for statehood, the federal government said, well, we're going to use what was originally laid out, and suddenly you have this strip of land called the Toledo Strip that is basically in limbo. Is it Ohio? Is it Michigan?
That was in 1805, and by April of 1835, there was war. A war with no deaths, just tense moments, including a man stabbed in a brawl in July of that year in Toledo in the now Warehouse District by 2 Stickney, the son of Benjamin Stickney, a Toledo founding father.
The Michigan sheriff came down to actually arrest 1 Stickney, came into a bar, and 2 Stickney defended him and stabbed him with a penknife.
Which Long says was the only blood shed. The war was settled in December of 1836, with Michigan getting the Upper Peninsula and Ohio keeping Toledo. If Ohio had lost, Toledo would have been a part of Michigan. But that's not all.
Then this area marked in red, including this area right there on Monroe and Summit Street, was down here listed as designated for the University of Michigan.
Meaning if Michigan would have won, the game would have been played in downtown Toledo every other year.
I still have to wrap my mind around that. Can you imagine Saturday just showing up at work and saying, oh, we're going to go down to the game?
I'm sure the businesses would have loved that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely. All the
the Bronze Boar would have been right in the perfect spot.
No doubt.
I want to go back to something that was brought up. Obviously, your ears may have perked up when you were listening to this. You heard the name Stickney. Mm-hmm. The gentleman's name was 2 Stickney?
I know, that's not a common name like Jeff, potentially. But so Benjamin Stickney, their father, named their 2 boys 1 and 2 Stickney because that's the order they were born in. So 1 and then 2. And then lastly, a quick fun fact for you. Benjamin Stickney, he got his middle name, is Franklin. His great uncle is Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founding fathers.
How about that?
How about that? A little history lesson to wrap up your Thanksgiving Eve.
All leading
Something
in.
to talk about at the dinner table tomorrow.
Or water cooler stuff leading in, maybe around the 10:30, 11:30 a.m. hour going into the game Saturday.